Hi everybody, welcome back to the Ecosystem in another episode. Today we have none other than Eric Rutayisire, the founder and CEO of CHARIS UAS. What is it?
You have to get it right.
UAS. There you go. You'll have to explain to us what that means, by the way. So as always, I've got a set of 10 questions where we get to engage with any player within the ecosystem with the hope, again, as always, that this helps somebody who's watching out there, entrepreneur in Rwanda primarily, or anywhere else really. So bring folks here that are doing amazing stuff, within our ecosystem with the hope that they get to inspire some of you out there. So yeah, welcome to the ecosystem, Eric. And this has been a long time coming, huh? I remember it's been 2 months or so that we've been planning this. So finally you're here. Now, I've got a set of 10 questions I get to ask you, run them by you, and then just respond them as quick as you can, and then give us as many details as you possibly can so that we can get to know you better, right? So the first one, obviously, is where you get to tell us about yourself. Who are you? Who's Eric? And what do you do?
Okay, good question. By the way, Steve, we will go way back, as you know. We went to school, in primary school together. So
yeah,
he's a very good friend of mine. So I know him. I know him when he was still in diapers as well. So probably.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, so Steve said, my name is Eric Rutayisire. I'm the founder of CHARIS UAS, which stands for Unmanned Area Solutions. So my education, I studied here in Rwanda until secondary school, and then my university, I went to in the US, undergrad and masters in electrical engineering. And then from there, towards the end of my undergrad, that's when I started CHARIS. And then so here in Rwanda, but I stayed a little bit in the US as well, continuing my masters, but also working there. So I worked there for a couple of years so that I get experience. So I was a system engineer, knowing how you design product from scratch, design and manufacturing, and until it become a commercial product. So I've learned a lot of experience. So
both hardware and software.
Yeah. So basically, what I was in charge of is like coordinating software, firmware, hardware, electrical, mechanical engineers, so that all of them talk to each other until the product is out.
Fancy stuff, huh? Okay, now, so tell us a little bit about it. You said you started CHARIS back when you're still in your undergrad, right? So tell us a little bit about your journey. I mean, how's it been like? And how did you even, we all know, you go study in the US. That's the country, what do they call it? It's a country of what? There's this term people use. Is it
the land of opportunity?
There you go, the land of opportunities. And then, obviously when somebody goes there, especially from Africa, the idea is that you go there to stay there to, to have your life over there. And then here you are, back here, doing what you're doing, living a job in the US. So how did that come to be?
Well, so for me, it was always the connection. By the way, US is also still my second home because I live there as well. Is how do we bridge the gap and bring what obviously they are things that they are a reason why they are successful in terms of business creation.
Yeah.
So my mind was like, how do I learn as much as possible from that kind of environment and bring it and merge it with the local context that we have here, and so that we become successful.
I see.
Always a passion of having Africa not stay behind but also grow.
But why drones?
So drones, I was introduced to drones by a mentor when I was still in the universities. And it was mostly, at the time, it was mostly of a hobby. But as we dive deep, I felt like there is an opportunity in there. It gives us an opportunity to see the world from a different perspective.
I see.
All of us are used to look at the world at this lower level, but when you go up there's a different dimension. It gives you different perspective, and so I was like, there's a lot of things we can do with that.
Interesting. Now, as you went through that journey, obviously having a full-time job that's paying you and then going up to set up a company. I mean, there's always that sort of bumpy road, if I can put it that way. So through that journey, what are some of the biggest mistakes you've made as an entrepreneur? Give me 2 or 3 top biggest mistakes that you made, and maybe give us some hints of how you recovered from those mistakes.
I think that's quite a difficult question.
Are you saying you haven't made any mistakes?
No, it depends on how you see what is a mistake. No?
I mean, according to you.
Yeah.
According to you.
And frankly, I haven't defined very well mistakes, because I feel like sometimes I tend to look at them, and it's not a cliche. People like talking about things like this as a cliche, trying to feel good. No, I'm very straightforward. That mistakes for me, I don't think about them in that way, because I see it's an opportunity for me to learn.
But they're still mistakes, aren't they?
Yeah, but then when you see it in the other side, it becomes hard to record those mistakes.
I see.
Because you're like, okay, unless it's something that really hurt me, that I'm like, until now I haven't recovered from. But I would say in the beginning, I would say the mistake probably. It's quite hard. It's really actually a very hard question for me.
Come on, give me at least 2. Let's just go, or 1. I mean, whatever. Because come on, you can't tell me you haven't made any mistake. I mean, it's been how many years now? How many?
8 years.
Come on.
Yeah. Maybe what I would say the first one was not understanding how what it takes to run the business in a way of how to. To set it up in a way it can run very fast, right?
I see.
So, because in the beginning, maybe I felt like with my other job, I gave a little bit of the time that I was giving to this other business was a little bit limited, and which I think it slowed a little bit our growth. But also, that's why I'm saying that there is also the upside of things, because the time also I spent with the other business gave me ideas and a way of fast-tracking our growth as well. So I think that was where we are now. I feel like we could have been further. And because maybe there's a certain amount of time in the beginning of the business I did.
But would you call that a mistake, though? I mean, it's part of growth, right? Come on, give me a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes now. Something you did, you thought you were right, and then you realized you were wrong, so you had to come back and maybe learn the lessons in between. I don't know, maybe you hired somebody, it was the wrong move, or I don't know, maybe you made a call.
Made such a dear mistake.
Really?
For me, obviously, when I look at it from obviously the past, I think that's what I was getting into. My mistake was probably not to invest as much in the beginning. Because I feel like we could be farther from where we are now.
I see.
And it took me some time to realize what we were up to. For that to click. For me, that's the mistake. I could have done it a little bit further. But also, another one I could say is that in the beginning, I was very much naive in a way of, let's say, investing in certain equipments.
I see.
So I feel like there's some equipment that we invested in earlier on that were the wrong type of equipment that I wasn't humble enough to learn from others.
I see.
Say, hey, what are you
now we're making
so yeah, I mean that is an experience where I felt like they could be better, but they're not very dear mistake, because at the end of the day it helped me learn. I was like, hey, the next step I need to sit down and really do my due diligence about where I was.
See, listen now. Going to the positive side of things. Obviously, I mean, we like to ask people the things that they're most proud of, right? In terms of achievement within your business or this entrepreneurial journey. I mean, I don't know, 1 or 2. that you're really proud of?
Yeah. So what I'm really proud of, number one, is being able to actually develop like technologies that are changing lives with our Rwandan
People, resources. Yeah, I see.
Like our engineers, our team here in Rwanda, all of them are engineers. And my thought, obviously, of having to translate that experience I had in the US to bring it back and translate that to them and push them to say, hey, you can do it. And really, and seeing people sitting down, young people from University of Rwanda, KIST and all that, developing solutions, building drones from scratch, and all that, like, it's really bringing me joy. So lately I went into my R&D or one of our room, and I saw how they were engaged, actually building solutions that are going out the door and changing the world. It's quite a...
that's lovely. Now, still on that, obviously, you're talking about your team, how the impact you're creating within the community, and obviously, it's key. I mean, whatever it is you're doing as an entrepreneur or building any company, really, for that matter, you need a team, an able team that can deliver, right? Yeah. And obviously, different people have different way of perceiving, what is it that's special about your team, right? And for me, we would like to know, what is it that you think is special about your team? And for somebody who's out there, maybe they're, at uni, and then they're passionate about drones and all that kind of stuff. What is it that makes CHARIS UAS stand out in terms of, team or culture and all that kind of stuff?
I think the first thing is the clarity of vision.
Nice.
It's very important to communicate the vision to your team, where you want them to go, and what, as a result of where you want them to go, what type of person they can be, and what kind of benefit they can reap from that. Nice. So I've been really challenging them to think differently, to question everything that they see, even actually question me sometimes with my decision, and really getting into a debate on how we should do things. Really? I'm very much...
that goes against our Rwandan culture,
No. I like to be
lovely,
challenged and say, okay, I'm telling you to do this in this way. Tell me why you shouldn't do it the other way, and feel free. If you have a valid reason, I will agree with you. So that is really a culture we've built, and also around innovation, making sure they understand that they're building things that are changing the world.
I see.
Yeah, so that is something that I think is very important.
Now, this is an interesting one. What is, as an entrepreneur, what would you call, or what would you define to be your wildest dream? Yeah.
So I think my wildest obviously is a change of narrative about our country, in terms of, not our country, our continent. Because now we are, I think, the way we are looking at our business is at the level of the continent, not just Rwanda. Because it's really like sad when you hear that you tell someone, hey, we've developed this and all that, and they tell you, did you develop it or you just bought it some?
So you're assembling it.
You're assembling it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you conceive that things can be built, can be manufactured, can be designed in Africa? Why has it be always? We never hear such debate in the US. Never. Yet
it's like it's a given. Like
it's obvious. And big companies there, like I've been in those companies. When you start getting into the thing of what did you do, it loses the relevance.
I see.
So we're really getting to a point where we see Africa that it's an well-able continent with a lot of talent. Changing that narrative is my dream. Is really important.
Okay. Now, speaking straight to the entrepreneurs, I mean, you can even look at them in the camera there. Somebody, you said 8 years have been in business, right? And what would you tell them as the top 3 do's and 3 don'ts? If they're out there planning to, venture into entrepreneurship, they've got this crazy idea. They want to, say, what? This is my next $1 million idea. So what is it that they should do? Like the top 3 do's and the top 3 don'ts. Yeah.
Well, what you should do first is to be convinced about first your solution that you want to bring in the market. You need to have that conviction that is contagious, because you need to transfer that to your team. That's something that is very important. And then the second thing is that's a don't now. Don't be deceived by the social media applause.
Oh yeah.
Because we are in an era where everyone, I want likes, and then you start even lying, and misrepresenting your company and achievement. Please don't do that. Have your KPI should not be how many likes, unless you are into the certain business, obviously that grows because of how many people follow them and so forth. But in terms of really other solution, have KPIs that are really important for the business, meaning like your revenue, your profit, your impact, however you want to measure it. Define it very early, and don't get distracted by social media.
I see.
In terms of do's, obviously, don't get money, don't seek capital, too much capital too early, because
that's a don't.
That's a don't, I guess.
Okay.
Because when you bootstrap, you learn how to bootstrap. You learn how to use the little that you have in the beginning. Obviously, you have to raise in the beginning, but when you learn how to use the little you have in the beginning, when you have more, you even use it much better. We have many companies that had tremendous, product, but because they had a lot of money earlier, they really misused the resources and the company failed. So learn that to go with the journey, a bit of bootstrapping and obviously the other one, educate yourself. That's a do. Educate yourself a lot. Read a lot, and I cannot emphasize this enough. You really need to read a lot. What you learn in school is not enough. Imagine if you can read a book of someone who have been in the your industry for 10 years or so. That means you're almost leapfrogging 10 years ahead of what you are.
True.
So you are really going through the journey before. Condensing. Someone was giving me a good concept of compounding time, making sure that you don't need to go through the same bad experience, but you can learn from someone. That 10 years has been condensed, and you're able to really go far. And the only way you can do it is tapping into their mind, and how you do that is reading books. So I think those are educators, and be really knowledgeable about your business better than anybody else. Because when you don't know what you're talking about, it's obvious to your investors, to potential even your partners, your staff, your team. You need to know more than them. Now in our company, we do a lot of data analysis and coding and all that, and I could tell you, I know almost every little part of it, because sometimes my guys can come and try to tell me something. I'm like, no, this is not true. I know what is going on.
I know.
So when I imagine, so when I think, if I didn't know about this, how do people even survive when they don't know what?
That's powerful.
So those are things that are really
nice, powerful. Yeah. Now we like to do this, and again, since the focus is the ecosystem, whenever we have somebody on our platform, we like to have their sort of opinions on how they think our ecosystem is shaping up, right? So what we usually do, we ask them to sort of bet, tell us the 3 top companies you think they're really onto something huge. So the rule is, in the country, you exclude yourself, and you also exclude us. So you just look at those companies and you just tell, to these ones, I guess, the next 2 to 3 years, they're onto something really huge.
Steve, that's an even harder question for me, because I have a weakness.
No, if you don't have any, maybe...
No, I have a very weakness, because I don't know much about other companies in the ecosystem. Because,
so that means have you even subscribed? You should be watching whatever it is you've been doing here, because, our hope is, through this, people get to know. But I'm not going to let you go from here. So you've got to give me something.
Yeah, so and
It could be one, maybe
yeah,
not
I will
three.
try. But if I don't mention this any company, don't think it's because I don't believe in you or anything. It's just because I don't know. I really don't know.
No hard feelings.
You're not hard feeling. I really, that's a weakness I need to work on to start knowing exactly what's happening in our country in terms
just
of.
give me company.
Yeah. So I think our friend Remy
Pindo.
Pindo.
Yes.
Pindo, I don't know how
It's Pindo.
He's Pindo.
Yes.
I think he's onto something. Obviously, shout out to him. If he can really grow his customer base and do things properly, he's really onto something.
I see.
And you guys also are into something.
We're not included, man.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about those
Rules.
who I know. Yeah.
You've got to know other people. Come on.
Okay. Any other?
Oh my goodness, this is so bad. Really?
Well, another one will be because they actually changed the way we are living in Rwanda. Is I like Voa Voa. I do. I think if they can also grow, are they in all the cities?
No, I think they're now in Kigali, Musanze, and Rubavu.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they can, because I think he found a sweet spot on how to do things. And I love the app. I order food every time through them. They're really onto something. They really
see.
He can.
You've already given us
really
two.
grow, and I'm rooting for him as well to do
That's
really
not nice.
amazing. Another one.
That's good. Two are enough.
Okay.
Next time we have you here, make sure you've done your homework now. So, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing?
You mean a different business?
I don't know, whatever that is. Maybe
No, I think if I
be
would-
farming or you'd enroll in the military. Who knows?
No,
maybe.
no. Well, yeah, that was one of my dreams.
Oh, now I remember. Maybe has it ever crossed your mind? Maybe you thought you'd become a professional footballer.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, played a lot
Give me
until.
a
actually, that was one of the reasons I went to
Really?
the US because I played here in
What happened?
IS Kigali until I was like.
What happened?
Life happened, man.
Life?
I got to a point where I had to choose between school and what I wanted to do. But yeah, you're right. I think you touched. I would be probably. I would love to be a professional footballer. Otherwise, I think I would have continued just working for one of the big companies, and but which I think my life would be so horrible. Because
Why?
I got to a point where I felt like just working for having like a job is not enough for me.
I see.
For satisfaction.
Now, I mean, finally, this is usually give our people an open mic so they get to say whatever it is they feel like they want to say in very few seconds. But then I'll just, be a little bit unconventional here. I know you work with your sister, and she, Mami, shout out to Mami. And part of the conversation we've had offline was, how do you do that? And I know your family is quite involved in your business, but it's not something usual, really. It's not always that easy, and yeah, how?
No, it's something that you are right. It's a blessing. Sometimes blessings are hard to describe.
I see.
And how it is, but I think it's also the clarity of vision, understanding that where we are going, understanding the potential, understanding that everyone has a win. If we win, everyone wins.
I see.
And that is very clear. And from there also understanding like the gift we have, like if she's well gifted in terms of managing people, processes and everything, that's I'll give it to her. If I'm more gifted into
technical stuff
and behind her building stuff, I love those stuff. She doesn't get involved, and then we have a place to meet. So that is very, very, very important to know that's awesome. Your strength, because you cannot really build a company on your own. You need the other people to help.
Wow. So I mean, that's it. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say.
No, just thank you, Steve.
Who you think we should have here next?
I don't know. I don't
we've got to work on that, man.
I need to
work
work on that, and I'm very sorry. You just put me on the spot.
On the spot, yeah. So, but thank you very much. Again, thank you, viewers and people watching out there. I hope this was helpful, and feel free to drop comments. They always say subscribe, do all that kind of stuff, which I'm not good at. But anyways, until next time, peace.